We're not on the ragged edge of death, not even close. But there are some challenges, and I expect that this year will be there'll probably be some unexpected bumps this year.
Tesla held its earnings call yesterday, and the good news is apparently the company is not on the ragged edge of death. So says CEO Elon Musk. Quite a message for investors on a day when the earning figures were bad news. Here's how the Wall Street Journal put it. Tesla's net income slid 71% in the first quarter as the company struggled to overcome competitive pressure overseas and a reputational hit from Chief Executive Elon Musk's polarizing role in the Trump administration. The company's first quarter revenue fell after a steep decline in automotive sales, including double-digit percentage drops in crucial markets such as the U.S., China, and Germany. Revenue from the company's automotive business fell 20%. The numbers were so far below Wall Street's expectations that Tesla declined to offer a forecast for sales and profits for the rest of the year, as is customary, saying there was too much economic uncertainty. As one analyst put it, this is the worst performance I've seen in Tesla's history. Now, somewhat oddly, I got to say, Tesla stock was up more than 5% today because, as I understand it, the glimmer of hope for people that are hardcore Tesla stock enthusiasts, and there are many, came from Musk himself, who said on the earnings call that he was going to start spending more time with Tesla and less time chainsawing the federal government. Problem, of course, is that Musk himself is the root cause of all the damage that Tesla has suffered to its brand. A CNBC All-America Economic Survey released yesterday asked people how they feel about Musk and Tesla. Well, get this, Republicans still overwhelmingly approve of Musk, but everyone else, not so much. With Democrats, Musk is down 82%. Now, that's a bit problematic for Tesla, given that, according to that same poll, those Democrats who overwhelmingly dislike Tesla are the most enthusiastic and most likely to buy an electric vehicle. The flip side of that, as a Republican pollster for the survey said, is that where Tesla is strongest is among the people least likely to buy an electric vehicle. Stephanie Ruhle is the NBC News senior business analyst, host of the 11th Hour on MSNBC, and she joins me now. Stephanie, I have never quite seen any company do to its brand what Tesla has done to its brand, what Musk has done to the brand of Tesla over the past year.
It's extraordinary. And you sort of touched on this amazing point. The people who are most likely to buy an electric car, many of those who have bought Teslas over the last decade are the people who now detest him the most. And the thing that's interesting is, for many years, he's been this incredible entrepreneur, but also this amazing storyteller who just had this kind of storied brand that he was so special he could do no wrong. Even when there was all sorts of personnel issues or problems even within the company with Elon Musk, he had such control over the board and such a magic touch that he had these lifetime investors that were just sort of, I'm all in with Elon forever. You saw it during COVID, right, when all of the meme stock trading, day trading bros just sort of fell in love with him, right? It was like flying with Elon to the moon. Now he's been exposed, right? Look at what we've seen over the last 3 months. Look at what a botch job Doge has been. When Doge started, he was going to cut $2 trillion. Then he was going to cut $1 trillion. Now, in his last estimate, it was $150 billion. And take that $150 billion and put that on top of all the damage it has caused to this country and beyond. That $150 billion, if they end up saving that, will end up having cost us so much more. So sort of that untouchable brand that he was has really been damaged.
Yeah, that point you made, people call it a story stock, and its ratio, a price to earnings ratio is just orders of magnitude bigger than other stocks. And part of that is like this belief that he can make magic happen. It was so funny because yesterday, at the same time that I was seeing that graph of like what his promises were on Doge savings to what the reality was, in the same earnings call, he said, we're going to get fully autonomous self-driving this year. We're going to roll it out. Now, this has become a bit almost in Tesla world. And I want to play this supercut of him promising this. It's like waiting for Godot. Like it's always right around the corner. Take a listen.
We're probably only a month away from having autonomous driving. I think we're basically less than 2 years away from complete autonomy.
By the end of 2017.
Yeah.
I think probably by end of next year.
Maybe even towards the end of this year, but I'd be shocked if it's not next year at the latest.
I mean, it's looking quite likely that it will be next year.
My best guess is that we will get there this year.
I think Tesla will have sort of a ChatGPT moment. Maybe if not this year, I'd say no later than next year.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. You're going to have a
sort of ChatGPT moment.
Oh, you will. In terms of suddenly it will.
Yeah, suddenly 3 million cars will be able to drive themselves with no one.
And now here we are in 2025, and like on a bad earnings call, he's telling people, don't worry, the fully autonomous is coming.
And that's the thing. So before Doge, sort of like the lure of the robo-taxi, who's going to bet against Elon Musk? And I get that, right? The average person, the average investor is like, listen, the guy's got Tesla, the guy's got Starlink. Look over there at SpaceX. He can do no wrong. Why not bet on him, right? That's always been the case. Yeah. But he's really sort of been revealed in the last 3 months that even if he goes back to Austin now and goes back to, the famed, he's going to sleep on the factory floor and dive back into Tesla, I don't know that it's going to have the same impact.
Well, and part of the problem, too, is just this brand damage. It strikes me like, he said, look, Doge, I'm going to still be working on Doge. Doge isn't going to go anywhere. Like, Doge is branded in the minds of the people, to my mind, that are most likely to buy a Tesla, which used to be almost a cliche, like a hacky joke, affluent liberals, right? It's the people that most are appalled by what Donald Trump and Elon Musk are doing to the country. The branding of Doge and Musk with the chainsaw, that doesn't go away if he I just think that's a really hard bell to unring for those potential customers.
Here's what's really funny. I thought we would have had on the call yesterday, especially because he was back talking about autonomous driving and, he was looking for distractions. I thought he was going to give us some gimmicky numbers around after they did sort of the big reveal, the big sales pitch on the front lawn of the White House with President Trump saying, and you can get a Tesla for only $39,000 and it's a great buy. I actually thought Elon Musk would give us some story about that, how they had a spike in sales or suddenly in states where people had never been driving Teslas before, there was a big boom. There was no talk of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm obviously not saying it was a failure because I don't know, but if it had been a success, we would have heard about it. So take yourself back to that MAGA voter. Are they really going to take the turn and go all in Tesla? I can't imagine that's the case. And if you look at the numbers aren't bearing out here. They aren't going well for Tesla in Europe. And in China, they're getting crushed right now.
I want to ask you, since I have you here, about the tariffs, because Trump is
tariffs?
He's negotiating against him. I mean, the whole thing is so clear. Wall Street's desperate for him to call it off. Bessent is doing everything he can to whittle him down. Pete Navarro doesn't want him to call it off. Trump is indecisive because he loves tariffs on the one hand, but he hates the fact that it's tanking the markets and he's hearing all this bad stuff. So he's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's negotiating himself. Can you, what does anyone have any idea where this is going? No. I mean, I think the answer is no, right?
And no one can make the honest argument at this point, this is the art of the deal. No one can make the argument, it's so crazy, it just might work. But I want to separate two things for you. So we're watching markets go like this, okay? I want you to know that's not necessarily a bad thing for professional investors.
Right.
So this story that Scott Bessent keeps telling us, Wall Street needs to take a step back. This is the time for Main Street. That's absolutely false because banks make a ton of money in volatile times because of all the trading that's happening. And you're watching the underlying economy is really good. So that's why as soon as we get a whiff or a hint from the administration that there's trade deals, the market soars. But the pain that's actually being felt is Main Street. So every source that I talk to from Wall Street, they're watching Lutnick, Navarro, Scott Bessent, and trading on it. But there's not a single business leader that's listening to any of that poppycocks coming out of the White House and making a move. I'm talking big business or small business. They're paralyzed.
Right.
And so I just want to stress to our audience this noise that it's time for Wall Street to take a step back. It's Main Street that's hurting, and it's not the consumer yet. But take a look at those cargo ships that are coming in from L.A. What is it, 60% down? Come 2-3 weeks when shelves are empty. Come 2-3 months when you and I need to buy school supplies for our kids. Those shelves will be empty or things will be 5, 10, 30 times more expensive, that's when it's really going to hit the consumer. So this idea that we're doing it for Main Street, I don't see any evidence of it yet. Yeah, it's a great point that Wall Street's able to sort of move very quickly in dealing with this sort of stimulus response. But actual companies, small businesses, big companies, much longer time lags. And we're going to see where this all goes. Some of it is already, some of the pain is already sort of baked in. We'll see how long this lasts. Stephanie Ruhle, always a pleasure. Thank you, Stephanie.